All right, well, we are doing a little bit different today than we have been. This isn't the playthrough we've been in. We're on a more of a late to end game playthrough right now. We've opened up a lot of the secret areas in the Abbey. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm running around picking up some reagents because I want to make sure that we have a lot of the things that we're going to need while we go into the intricacies of a lot of the things that it takes to really start to do well in Midnight Suns as far as the combat goes. We're going to go really deep into things like deck building, how the characters work together, character roles. So we got some death caps, some moonflowers here. And one of the things to look for when you're picking these up is, see the little sparkle right by where it says death cap? That's usually a sign that there's a reagent there that you can pick up. So we're just finishing up the loop here. Wanted to get most of this done before we got into this. We're going to go through research the different research upgrades that you can look into. We're going to go into what the cards do, what the keywords mean, what type of cards they are. Now, I am skipping the chest for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I have used all of my keys. And number two, I've actually picked up a really good combat bonus already. And I would definitely not be happy to lose that just to pick up a couple extra cosmetics. So we're going to head back to the Abbey and we're going to jump right into it. So the first things we're going to look at is the upgrades. We'll start out in the yard. Alright, we got the 2 punching bags here. These are... yes, I do have a long list here of what everything is. This is the old 1-2 and the old 3-4. Now, both of these have to do with knockbacks into your teammates. The old 1-2 allows your teammates to do more damage instead of taking damage. And the old 3-4, when you knock an enemy into a teammate, you actually draw a card, which is really important because one of the main things you need to think about in a deck building situation is how well you cycle through your decks. And your basic decks are 8 per character and 3 characters, so you're looking at a minimum of 24 cards that you need to cycle through to access your different abilities to build different combinations and maximize your damage output of the deck. We come back here. Now this is Way of the Fang. That's where you get these. These allow you to use your movement to knock back an enemy. Over here, this one is... let's see if I can find it. I know what it does, but let's see. This is on your feet. So what this does is it allows you to use your move to cure any status debuffs off of your friends. So those are really the most important ones you want to look at. Right here, this is the threat room. It's essentially a portal to Limbo, which allows you to once a day try out your decks in essence and gain some XP for whoever you take in there. You go in solo and you have pretty much the same rules of engagement as you do with the other regular combat, but your goal is to essentially survive for 3 rounds. All right, so we're in the forge now. This here is the armory, and what this allows is you to do legendary challenges, which we can look at after we've slept. We've got the item bench here, which has 3 different upgrades, which allows you to use different rarities. And this here is the foundry. First upgrade of the foundry allows you to decode coil into 4 cards, and then you'll get 2 choices instead of just 1. And there's an upgrade to this which allows a 5th one, and then another upgrade which allows you to re-roll one of the cards that you've chosen. This upgrade here, this allows you to get more resources every time you dismantle cards, so that when you recycle your cards that you're not using, you can get more essences out of those. And we've got central here. This upgrade here allows you to interrogate, to occasionally interrogate downed enemies. This one allows you to run, there's another upgrade that allows you to run a couple extra, or 2 hero ops at the same time, or up to 2 hero ops at the same time, as well as getting more intel when you decode the intel caches. Now the cauldron here is the only thing you can use all the time. Hero ops, the forge, and the yard you can only access during the day. Now, in the cauldron, you can use the reagents that you pick up around the abbey to craft different items. These all come as cards. They're separate from your regular decks, and they're all free. And we'll get into what free means when we start talking about the different keywords on the cards. These can be very powerful. Also, this allows you to craft essence so that you can use the Book of Ashanti upgrade in the forge to craft more abilities by using blueprints and essences. You can craft gifts to give to the people that you do hangouts or havens with, so that you can increase your friendship. Friendship is really important because it does give you definitive gameplay bonuses. It's not just, oh, we get to be friends with this one and that one, which is cool in and of itself, but you do get a benefit to it. You can use transmutation to turn one type of essence into another type of essence. You can also use this to transmute gloss to credits and credits to gloss. This is really, really good because I've found in all of this, one of the hardest things to maintain are credits, especially when you're building the upgrades to the yard, the forge, and central, because they tend to get expensive and they tend to be really, really tough to come by. You don't always get a lot of credits, and then you've got a couple extra palettes that you can buy. These are just to colorize your outfits. We've got a little bit of gloss over here. You see I'm picking these up all the time. You really want to try to make sure you do pick them up. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out.
I'll be honest, that
We don't have any hangouts with anybody. We're going to sleep, and then we're going to get right into it come the morning. What we're going to do is we're starting out on Heroic 1. We're going to pick a team, build some decks, and then we're going to get into it, do the mission. Each mission we do, we're actually going to raise the level of the difficulty, and then we're going to crank it all the way up to after the sixth mission, Ultimate 3. Biggest challenge. We're going to look at how those challenges differ. Hey, Charlie.
Good girl.
Always got to pet Charlie every single day. This petting Charlie is how you increase Charlie's level. You also get, let's see, we get Arcane Knowledge and Gloss. Our Arcane Knowledge on this save is actually completely maxed out. You can see that on the map, if I remember. Yeah. So we got Arcane level max. We're out of Arcane keys. And our bonus, the bonus that you get here when you max out is that rare chest, the blue chest, no longer require an Arcane key to open. So you can open them however and whenever you want. Okay, so we got, I think it was Spider-Man that wants to talk to us. Let's see what he's got to say.
You keep your mind from jellifying. Aliens, doomsday prophecies, demons, elder gods?
Are you experiencing existential dread spirals?
Yes. How do I stop my science-minded brain melting into whimpering sludge?
Now, I originally started this out pushing a light hunter, and I've pushed it all the way to the max, and now I'm kind of pushing back the other way to take advantage of the dark hunter, get those collars going.
Make peace with
So we're going to push
Go with
the
flow and
dark side.
understand that you truly
The
are
only
very
character that I haven't
That's
maxed out the friendship levels of is Wolverine.
same principle
So I'm not really worried so much about where the friendship levels go.
Chaos reigns, and who you sit with at lunch reflects your status.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, kid.
Well, I'm sitting at the Midnight Sun's table, and we're pretty okay at battling darkness. You know what? Perhaps the best way to get my head on straight is to learn to cook. I'm gonna try my hand at Aunt May's clam linguine.
What's with the
Noodles and
clams?
seafood?
Yeah, I think it'll be my way of eating tentacled gods. I will literally eat my fears.
Wow, that's kind of gross.
Thanks, Hunter.
I will never look at calamari the same again.
The sky routinely cracks open these days, so I guess I really don't know anything.
Okay, so we have pushed the needle a little bit. You can see 194 out of 200 on the light side. So we've got a long way to go. We do have a mild injury on Captain Marvel and a moderate injury on Spider-Man. Holdover from the last mission that I played with these two. They're 1 day to recover. Not really a big deal. They both will recover. But I can use the combat therapy upgrade in the yard to push one of them, which we're going to do. Head over here. Interact with the yard. We've got combat therapy. We can apply mods, upgrade abilities, and we have our daily sparring.
Get some fresh air. Hardly any
So,
cops up the coast out here.
what this is going to do is it heals the injury and it gives them a combat bonus. So we're going to go with a Spider-Man. Throw him in there. And we're going to get our coil. This is how you get your cards. And cards are basically how you do everything in combat. They represent the abilities that you use.
Give me a sec.
Now, when you go on a mission, the coil you get is for the characters you took on the mission. Now, you can get coil from different other ways, and if you just get a random coil drop, it will be for every single. It will be for every single character, so your pool is a lot wider.
Big Tony's Forge of Mystery.
All right, so we've got a Holy Burst, this is a really nice Hunter card. I use this in my Light Hunter deck. It's a great AoE heal and damage skill. One of the few AoE skills that the hunter has. Rain of Blows. This is a fantastic Captain Marvel card. This can do a ton of damage. If you get her in binary, build up your heroism near the top, and get her enough block, she can do easily over 1,000 damage with this card. And speaking of pairing it, good card pairings, we've got a great synergy here with Call to Arms and Rain of Blows, where with Call to Arms, it doubles all of your heroism gains for 2 turns.
This
And
thing behind me turns into a giant gateway to
we can look at the upgrade here. Doubles it for 1 turn, but now it's a free card play. So you're getting, on top of that, an extra card play. Playing that, you're doubling your heroism. So if you're playing all skills, skills are going to run, in general, 2 heroism per. You can double that to 4. 2 card plays, you're up to 8, and boom, you're doing some really good work. And on top, we've got another synergy with that, where we've got Regroup here, where you gain 153 blocks. So you're boosting your block, you're boosting your heroism, both of which lend themselves into Rain of Blows. And on top of that, you're building up the binary counter for Captain Marvel. So I think what we're going to do here is going to go with, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with Holy Burst and Rain of Blows, just because currently really low on both attack and heroic essences. So if I do need to discard some cards, I want to take something that I've got extra copies of. Now, another way to get cards is ability crafting.
What are we building today?
So using blueprints and essences, you can see just under 400, a little over 900, and a little over 200 here. Really low. So if you go into a character, so we'll look at Wolverine here. Any card that you've seen, even if you haven't picked it with coil, you can craft an extra one here. So if you break a card
Where do you think I got the
because you needed to break it down, you needed quick essence or something, you can actually recraft them here.
Well, that's how it is now.
And when we start looking at what we want to do for decks, see Judgment, I don't actually have any of these, but we can craft it because we have unlocked it. And you can even craft the special Midnight Suns abilities. This one happens to be Ghost Riders, the Pen and Stare. So if you want to upgrade them, you can actually do it with this. And let's take a look at this guy. So the upgrade for this is it fills your souls meter. All right. So, and then the blueprint exchange here lets you craft commons, rares, and epics. Commons straight from essences. Rares use 2 common blueprints and the essences. Epics are 2 rares and the essences. And then you can go downwards. Legendary to epics, epics to rares, rares to common, and it's always 1 to 2.
Later.
And we'll look at the challenges here. The tick mark, these are all done. These are the special legendary challenges for each character. You unlock these with the Forged in Hellfire research and maxing out the friendship levels. Now, this is where one of the ways that friendship factors into the gameplay. But you can actually, that's the only way to unlock these skills is to reach friendship level 5. So these have fixed card draws. They're always the same. and you have to figure out the puzzle to how to play the cards in the right way in order to complete the objectives.
Good day, Hunter.
All right, so let's take a quick look over at. Oh, you know what? Stop here. Let's. Now these are the items, more items, similar to what we looked at with the cauldron, but these are only combat items. You've got same types of rarities: common, rare, legendary, and then, or I'm sorry, epic, and then legendary. The thing is, legendary, you can only have one legendary item in your deck at a time. So that oh, okay. This is. I just checked that for a second because I wasn't sure if I read it right. Combat items always, since they're always a free play, they can be very strong. They can also be, they're also very specific. All right, so let's take a look. The one we're not going to do is this one. This is the story mission, and we're not about pushing forward the story right now. So we're only going to be doing side missions. I'm trying to minimize spoilers as much as possible with this. So we've got a destroy device for an artifact in Gamma Coil, capture a Hydra agent. And we also have a defeat enemies mission. Here we've got counterattack Hydra forces, defeat a nest mother, and stop the Hydra truck. There's also a stop the Hydra helicopter, which is essentially the same mission. They work the same way. Kind of attack them, so to speak, the same way. So we're going to go with the defeat nest mother. These are actually kind of fun. And there is a trick to doing them, and that's why we're going to start here. All right, so it's defeat a nest mother and her brood of villain. Now, our required hero and the lead for this mission is going to be Blade, so we're definitely taking Blade. And I think because of how the mission goes, we're definitely going to be taking Iron Man here because his skill set really good for this. Blade has a lot of chain abilities, and Iron Man has some good AoE abilities. So he's going to be in on this, or at least multi-targeting abilities. Definitely want to bring him on this, and we're going to bring the Hunter because every time you bring the Hunter, the two other characters that come with will gain friendship with the Hunter. So when you're not completely maxed out, you always want to bring the Hunter with you. That way you're building up your friendship levels. All right, so we're going to head on over here, and we are going to, since we know who we're going to bring, that's where we're going to pick our daily sparring. The other thing you need to look at is because we're upgraded to the point where we're getting secondary abilities, we want to look at where those abilities are coming from. So we're getting increased size of area abilities. There are only a few characters that are really going to benefit from that. You're mostly looking at Scarlet Witch and Magic. Nico does have some benefit from that. She does have a few AoE abilities, but one of the things that it doesn't at this time affect is it doesn't affect Captain Marvel's photon beam, and it doesn't affect the Hell Ride for Ghost Rider. So what we're going to do is, since Scarlet Witch is so AoE focused, we really want to push that size so we can get as much benefit from her abilities as possible. So we're going to throw that into her. You see, we've already got her up to 20 now, and those AoEs are going to be 5% bigger than they would be.
Doctor Strange knows Merlin. I'm still waiting for someone to take this.
All right, so we know we're going to take Iron Man, and we know we're going to take Blade. So let's take a look at their decks. So we've got 2 quick strikes, a regular strike, make them bleed, Savage, Stake, Daywalker, and Glaive. Everything's upgraded. Not everything is not everything is modded. We only have 2 modded abilities in here right now. So this particular deck for Blade is actually really heavy on heroic cards. And we see we've got Savage, Stake, Daywalker, and Glaive. These are all heroics. We only have 1 skill card in here, so they make them bleed. And then we've got the 2 quick strikes and a regular strike. Now, the other side of this is if we look at Tony's deck, we've got a lot of heavy heroism in here. 2 4s and then the 2. Now, the air superiorities, really good in the Nest Mother missions because they attack everything. And the Nest Mother, when we get into the mission, we're going to see she's going to raise these items, and they count essentially as minions. So, air superiority, 4/4 heroism, you're completely clearing the board of all of these things. They don't get upgraded, and the upgrades of these totems will either put debuffs on your characters or they'll buff the your enemies. So one of the things we do need to worry about here is how are we going to do with heroism? We probably want to stay away from using more environmental attacks because that is going to use up a lot of our heroism. And the Hunter, as much as I want to push dark cards here, we're actually going to take Annihilation out because for what we're doing, we're not going to build up the Annihilation. So let's go in. We're going to edit the deck. We're going to drop Annihilation. And I'm actually going to grab... Let's see. It's dark. So, oh no, this is neutral, or this is a power card. So we're gonna move over to. I'm thinking of taking Whip, mostly because forceful knockbacks in any direction. This can really help us out. Now with Merciless, taking the charge can be good because we get the forceful knockback plus a 25% chance to apply stun, which allows us to lead into Merciless to do major damage. We're looking at 741 damage against something that's stunned, even more if it's vulnerable. We are into 4 skills. I think what I'm going to do here, though, is I'm also going to drop Wrath. And we're going to take Whip and Deadly Ground here. Deadly Ground I haven't used before, and this is something that I kind of want to check this out. I want to see how it works. I have heard that one of the explosives, if you knock something into it, you can stun them, and I want to check that out. We are going to upgrade this, and we're gonna mod both of these. So we're gonna get into that modding. You see on the charge, part of this is in green. That green shows what your mod is on here. So a normal charge is plus is a forceful knockback with a 25% chance to stun. On this one, a KO gains resist. This is not fantastic. You see the Holy Gift. The mod here is increased the heroism gain to 3. A quick slash KO draw a card. This is really good for cycling cards in your deck. And that's something you really want to think about. How well am I cycling cards? How fast am I getting the cards that I need? The heal plus here applies to resist. This is a phenomenal heal. It really can't get that much better than this. You're going to take a character that is low on health. You're going to give them 2 resist and a big chunk of their health back. Really good. Really good. Now, we got the slash plus here. Our mod here applies 1 week. Nice to have. This was actually one of the staples in my Light Hunter deck. Same thing here with the Holy Spark with extra damage. This one I'm not as keen on because it requires you to have full health. Still can be good. This one I prefer. These two I preferred because you have the KO, you get 2 more cards. Again, card cycling. Card cycling through your deck is really one of the most important things you can think about. Because if you can't play cards, there's not much you're doing. All right, so let's take the deck as it is. We do have a new ability to upgrade, but what I really want to do here is, because you can't mod a card that isn't upgraded. Now, if you draw a card that's modded, you can upgrade the modded card without a spare of it. It just costs you more. So we're going to go in here. We need a rare. And we're going to craft a deadly ground.
All right, now we're talking. That's all I can expect of you. Always a pleasure.
Let's get ourselves... I know I saw something. Couple of credits. Always nice to have. And one other thing I want to do here is I want to go in here because I know we're using a heroism heavy. We're going to craft a nanotech weave. So this is just 2 free heroism, straight up. This is going to help because we are going to have 2 hero combos. They cost 4. We've got the 2 air superiorities. They cost 4 each. So let's go into the hunter. Let's upgrade deadly ground. So this is going to give us 2 light and dark explosives. And then let's get into the applyability mods. Alright. So the mods, they cost you different amounts. So you see this is an epic. It's cost 50 skill essence and then 20. Deadly ground here. Now I think this costs 50 because it's already modded. Now this is costing us 75 plus 10. So let's go in there, and this is not bad. Not bad. So if you click on these, it'll actually tell you how much block you get. This is your full offense. So our offense is 144, so we get 144 block if we redraw this. Or we can redraw it to gain resist. I actually like this better. Resist is really, really strong. there's a reason why I use the passive on the hunter that I use all the time. So we got a mod on there, and we're going to mod whip too. Let's see. Increase damage to blocking targets or draw 2 cards on a KO. This is interesting because there are some enemies that if you have a chance to knock somebody into them, you want to knock them into them, and that particular enemy always has block, or at least until you get rid of their block, they always have. You're not going to find a time where they don't have block until you've gotten rid of it. So this gives you a really nice boost to that if you can pull it in. Now, because of the damage you're doing here, you're kind of limited on how often you're going to do a KO with this. But you really can't go wrong between either one of these choices. I'm actually going to go with increased damage to blocking targets.
Maybe you should just hit me up on Superlink when you're ready.
So we're gonna go with the 2 cards on KO. Again, cycling. We're gonna go for the cycle. There's almost always going to be a chance that there's a minion around that we can actually whip them into the minion, get that KO, and get the 2 extra cards. So we'll go there.
Our enemies are many, but we grow stronger.
Now, let's look at our buddy Iron Man here. Now, let's see. We've got the 2 air superiorities. Both are modded. Oh, Quick Blast is not, so we're going to pop that on. Alright, block on KO or apply 1 week. Now, because this is a quick card, we're looking for KOs here. So, getting the block on the KO feeds into the synergy of the card itself and how you're going to use it. Applying a week is really less effective. Now, you can make this work. What you do is you're trying to line up on a heavy enemy, knock it into a minion, so you KO the minion, get the benefit of the quick, and then you're applying the weak. But
I guess it is a tough decision.
I find that looking for get X on KO synergizes with the quick cards the best. That's what we're going to do. So, and mark target, we're going to mod this one. So this gives us +1 heroism generated or +1 move. Now, if we look at Iron Man's deck, this is the no-brainer right here. Mark the target. We're going to apply 2 vulnerable, 2 marked. We're going to mark nearby enemies. This is an AoE effect. Boom. Let's get 3 heroism on that.
Been looking forward to upgrading that.
That's a good one here. And let's see what we get on the surgical strike.
It's creepy if you think about it.
This is interesting. This is interesting. Now, unfortunately, this is not one of his cards that gets upgraded through a redraw, which would make it really, really nice, because Tony's gimmick is that you redraw a card and the card stays into your hand and it improves the card in some way or another. We saw on the quick strike, if you redraw the card, it adds a knockback to it. His blast changes the knockback to a forceful knockback. Air superiority, you can redraw it twice, get the and increase the damage each time. But we're going to go with
I'll meditate.
the increased damage here. That way we can get more benefit from his chains.
All right, not too shabby.
Alright, and that is... we've modded everything that's in his hand. And let's look at our buddy Blade. I mean, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards that he has in his hand that we haven't modded. Now, modding the Glaive, which is his special legendary ability, you can see how expensive that is. We actually have to use a legendary blueprint to mod that.
Maybe you should just.
We're going to jump in here and we're going to do the quick strikes first. Definitely. I like block. I like drawing cards more.
We need any advantage we can get.
Especially with the quick strike. Again, on KO, give me something. Yes, please. Plus, and we're going to go more cycle. Absolutely more cycle. So both of these, we actually drew really well on these. RNG was really nice here. Let's see what we can get on Make It Bleed. So we can either redraw for block or redraw for resist. We're going to go redraw for resist. Not something that's really going to benefit us as much. I'll probably be looking down the road to remod this.
Sometimes you just need to spice things
In fact,
up.
you know what? We're going to do it right now. Let's remod it. So now we've got 3 choices. Redraw for counter, redraw to cure, redraw for resist. Really would have preferred something on a play with this one. And we're going to stay with the resist here.
Let's see what we can do.
Now, if we were to do it again, it's still the same, but, you know, the credits are getting up there. Let's go with the strike. So let's see. We have a 25% chance to apply one vulnerable here, and that's going to apply for every single hit. So if we focus the chain down on one, we're going to have 3 25% chances to apply one vulnerable. I like this. This is also something that we can lead with, where we can have a good setup here. So let's say we've got Make 'em Bleed. We can actually apply the vulnerable, and then Blade's quick strike does increased damage against anything with bleed. So we can apply bleed, we can apply vulnerable, and then we can have a pretty good chance of getting a knockout with the quick strike and then refunding that card play. We can also go with the increased offense. Ooh. We're actually doubling his damage here. That's a tougher call. Just looking at the damage, I mean, that is a big number right there. That gives us a chance to do upwards of 345. Some of the lighter elites, even into the ultimate levels, that's a KO. If not, it's really close. So this is a really, really good and tough choice. We are going to go with the vulnerable.
Always room for improvement.
And then we are down to 65. We don't have enough for stake here, so we're going to back off on that.
Caretaker could have at least left me a chair.
So let's take a look at our decks again. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is I want to talk about the keywords. So if we look at last sight, we have apply 2 bleed on KO, gain concealed. Now what concealed does is that essentially makes you untargetable. So if you have a lot of taunt out, or if you've pulled a lot of the aggro onto the hunter, you can use last sight to conceal, and that drops you off the radar. All of those enemies that are targeting the hunter will now not act on their turn. Merciless as the stun and bind keyword. The regular version of this is just stun. The upgraded version adds bind. Stun and bind are very similar, where stun, neither one of them allow the target to act, but stun is removed with damage. Now, one of the things you can do is, if you have knockback and can knock an enemy into a stunned ally, you won't get the benefit of the old 1-2 or the old 3-4, but it will knock your character out of stun. So you can get them to act again, though they will take the knockback damage. Now, heal. Restore an ally to full hurt. This actually has two keywords on it. One is cure and the other is fast. Fast and slow are kind of two sides of the same coin. Fast reduces the amount of heroism needed to use a heroic card. Slow increases the amount that you need. Now, cure is not really what you might think it might be. Cure will not restore any health. It's not a heal. What cure does is it removes negative status afflictions. Now, we were talking earlier about how good resist is. What resist is the ability to negate incoming damage. So for every point of resist you have, you get to negate one incoming attack. Now, you can still be debuffed, but you won't take damage. Mindbender. Now, this has the keyword exhaust on it. Exhaust pops up a lot. You can see it on Annihilation. You can see it on Patience. What exhaust means is that when the card is played, it's removed from your deck for the remainder of the mission. Now, you don't lose the card. It does come back afterwards, but you can essentially you can only play this once. Now, whip, we've got a couple different things here. We have what's called a forceful knockback. Now, there's two kinds of knockbacks. Regular knockback, forceful knockback. Forceful knockback does more damage, has greater distance, and can actually break things that will allow a drop-off. Though, like if you're on top of a building, a forceful knockback in the wall can actually create a drop, what's called a drop, where they can fall off of the building. Its drops are environmental hazards with a % chance of an instant KO. So what a forceful knockback can do is that can actually use like the side of a building or something like that to utilize that, whereas a regular knockback will just knock them into it and they'll take the damage of running into it. Mindbreaker applies Berserk. What Berserk means is that the target of Berserk will attack the nearest unit to them. It can be an enemy, it can be an ally. So if you're using Mindbreaker on an enemy, you want to make sure that what you're doing is targeting an enemy that's near another enemy, and they will attack their own allies. Over here on Wrath, you see we've got critical and free. Critical, when you draw them, see how this guy's, it's got the diamond with the damage number and the sword. The sword will be flaming and the damage will actually be greater. That's what a critical is. Now, you're not rolling that when you play the card. That's rolled when the card comes into your hand, so you know that you're going to have a critical card while it's in your hand. It's not going to be a mystery. It's there. You know it. You're going to use it. You know you're going to do the critical damage. You see it. It's right in front of you. Free. Well, Heinlein said it best. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Free means your play of the card doesn't use a card play, but it counts as a card play. So when we get into the mission, probably not this one, maybe when we're fighting some Hydra, we'll probably see something called Frenzy. Now, Frenzy is a counter that allows the target of Frenzy to move out of turn. And what it does is it counts card plays. And each card play counts down that timer. Even though Wrath wouldn't count against your card play, it does count against the timer and will trigger Frenzy. Let's see, we talked about block, and just in the sense of gaining block. Block is essentially like a second health bar. You can think of it as like a shield where you do damage to the block before you do damage to the health. And you'll know when somebody's doing damage to you, it looks like a shield that's breaking, and the damage numbers will come up blue. When it bleeds into the health bar, those damage numbers will start coming up red. And if it's enough damage to break the block and do damage to the health bar, you'll actually see 2 damage numbers. So you'll see how much is being done to the block and how much is being done to the health bar. There are some things which bypass block: bleed damage, corruption damage, wounded damage. If you have the wounded debuff, all of those damages will actually be done directly to your health bar and will bypass block. So if you have a big bad shield bearer and you drop bleed on him, you're not going to break the shield with the bleed damage, but you're actually going to do it directly to his health bar. So, quick slash here, we've got the block. We also have quick, which we talked a little bit about before, where on a KO, it refunds your card play. Now, if we look at Fortify, it says draw the last attack played. Now, an attack is there are 3 different kinds of cards. We have Heroic, which are denoted by the orange circle in the top left corner, and that circle will have a number in it. That's the amount of heroism it costs to use the card. Then we have skill cards, which have the shield with the diamond in it, and they are usually down in both attack and skill cards. They will give you heroism when you play them. The amount of heroism that gives you is in the orange circle in the bottom left-hand side. So you see skill. This one is +2. If we look here, that's +1. That's standard. Standard heroism gains for skills is 2, and for attacks it's 1. This is an attack, the crossed swords. Also, again, like with the heroic card, we do have a damage icon here. Tells you how much damage it does. Now, the reason why this one is white and this one is green is because the mod on this particular card increased the damage. So that green labeling is indicating where that mod is, and that is on the damage. So you know that this is actually going to do more damage than a regular Bands of Fire, which we'll look around real quick. I think I might have one. Yeah, right here. So normally it does 216, and this one here is doing 252. So it's a little bit better. It's about 46 more points of damage, but you're still getting the knockback on it. This is actually a really nice setup here. Now, what this will do is draw the last attack played. So the last card with this symbol on it that you've actually played is the one that will be drawn. We're going to look next at Holy Flame here. Apply to vulnerable. What vulnerable does is it applies a debuff that causes the target to take 50% more damage from attacks. Any attacks, knockbacks, environmentals, they'll always take more damage from those. 2 vulnerable here, really, really good. A lot of vulnerable that you can apply, it's 1. That only lasts for 1 turn. The 2 vulnerable being applied by this version of Holy Flame actually makes them vulnerable for 2 rounds. So you have whatever you can follow up on this round, and you can follow up on the next round. So you can really combo really hard with that. This is something that I pretty much always want in my Light Hunter deck, just because it allows for so much utility. Let's see. So we got a weak here on this slash. Apply 1 weak. What weak does is it reduces the amount of damage outgoing. So if your characters are weakened, this damage number here will actually be in red, indicating that they're doing less damage than they're supposed to do. We talked about resist. We talked about free, exhaust. Vulnerable. Final. Fury. What this means, final, it means after you've played this card, this character cannot act again. Now, the rest of your heroes can act. It's only, in this case, it's only the hunter who can't act. If you're, and this is what we're looking at with 1 turn vulnerables, the hunter cannot follow up on this card. You've played this, you've applied the vulnerable, you've done a good chunk of damage, but you need somebody else to follow up. The upgrade to this applies to marked, so you get 2 turns of marked on top of that. Really nice. This is allowing you to set up for a combo that will allow you to, excuse me for that, had a little something going on there. This will allow you to set up a combo where you can take down the enemy and you get a refund of the card play. That's what marked is, since we've brought that up. What marked does is any enemy that's marked, if you KO them, refunds the card play. We're going to get into the big book of all of the debuffs here. Now we've got the buffs, we've got the debuffs, we've got the keywords. So we talked about free, quick. All right, so one of the items that we can craft grants overpowered, which is a little better than strengthened. We're going to confirm the deck here. See if I can remember. I think it's Spider-Man has it. Web throw, block, plus moves. Oh, yeah, here we go. Web slinger. Gain 1 strengthened. What strengthen does, strengthen increases the offense by 50%. Overpowered is the next step up. Overpowered increases the offense by 100%. So it's mark, block, drop. We talked a little bit about drops. There are some characters that can create them, specifically Ghost Rider. It's kind of one of his things. He has the Hellmouth, where he can actually create a drop. He does have another skill, which I actually haven't opened up yet, where he can replace either himself or an enemy, or he can replace himself with a drop. He also has one where he can replace either an enemy or an ally with a drop. Magic has one similar. It's Banish here. Replace an enemy or an ally with a drop until the next turn. So basically, you can use this on an ally who's getting massively targeted, turn them into a drop, try to spend some time knocking people into the drop, maybe get some cheap free KOs, whatever. And on top of that, you're actually removing somebody from the board where they can be targeted. Really nice. Your taunt. Taunt is super important. We're actually going to go into Cap for this because it's really one of his things. He's one of the big tanks in the game. He has his basic deck includes a lot of taunts and a lot of ways to grant block. I prefer to use this 2 dig-ins with him because you gain a good chunk of block. It's actually about half of his health in block, and you get a counter. So, and you're taunting. What a taunt does is it's just like it sounds, it forces the enemies taunted to attack Cap. So you can pull in a lot of the aggro that way, and then depending on how much damage he's taking, now he's got a fair amount of health, but not a whole lot of offense. So, but every little bit helps. If he's going to take a hit and then kick it back, if he's got enough block, you can really work it. You can take a good amount of damage. And he does have Fortitude this here. And he's actually generating block at the start of each mission. He doesn't have the willpower, which he could really use, which would help him regain health each turn. But he's going to start off with block, and then he has a lot of ways to gain block here. Best defense, all the damage he does, he gets his block. And that includes counters. So you set him up with the counter, you set him up with the best, you play dig in, you play best defense, then he's actually regenerating some of the block that he's losing by getting attacked with his counter. And then we've got the shield bounce, which is a nice AoE, which not only applies taunt, but it applies weak on top of that. So you're actually ratcheting down the amount of damage that he's taking in. And his passive starts him with block, and he gains block each turn. Concealed. You can get lifesteal. We're going to look at Blade for that with Stake. This is one of the cards that you're going to see right off the bat. It's in his starting deck. Lifesteal. Lifesteal is really simple. Whatever damage you do, you get back his health. Bleed, again, we'll stay on Blade for this one because it's kind of his shtick. Bleed does the offense in dot damage. So if you have, but it doesn't stack. What stacks of bleed do show you how many turns of bleed they're going to take. they'll only ever take the equivalent of the offense in bleed. So if he stacks 6 stacks of bleed, he's going to end up doing 690 points of damage, but it's going to be over 6 turns. It's not all at once. Now, he does have a card that allows you to do it. Reaper. Consume all bleed on the target to deal remaining bleed damage. On KO, gain 1 strength. And so what this does is it does 57 points of damage, and then every stack of bleed is consumed instantly to instantly do all of that damage, all of that bleed damage at once. It's a nice combo thing. I'm not a huge fan of it because it's very, very situational. I prefer my decks to be a little bit more generalist than specific. And a lot of that comes from years of playing TCGs and building decks for TCGs. And if you've got, now we are dealing with less cards, but if you're dealing with a 50 to 60, 70 card deck, you don't want to dig through all of that to get the specific situation you need to be successful with something. His passive does allow a 25% chance to apply 1 bleed when dealing damage, but unless you're stacking up several stacks of bleed at a time, Reaper isn't really as effective as it could be. Resilience is actually, we want to talk about resilience. That's one of the stats here, but you will see it pop up when it does take effect. It'll just say resilient. Resilience is your chance to resist negative status effects. We're up to 6% with Blade. If we look at most of the characters, that's really going to be around where they are. Berserk minus Confused. Confused is a negative status effect that you can get from certain characters. It's not as widespread as some of the other ones. It basically makes whoever's confused take random actions. Frenzy, we talked about that, and in connection with the free, it's a counter. You'll see it under the health bar, and that counter will actually tell you how many card plays left until the frenzy triggers, and it allows them to go out of turn. Any enemy that has frenzy on it won't actually act in the enemy turn. They only act during your turn, so you're not going to get double dipped by them. Curse. Anytime you play a card, you're going to discard a random card. When you fight Fallen Scarlet Witch, she has a similar debuff that she uses called Hex. Works basically the same way. Occasionally, when you're in certain types of missions, when you see certain types of enemies, shield bearers, we are going to see this with the Nest Mother. You'll see protected. What that means is you can't specifically target the enemy that is protected. You can only target the protector. Now, there are ways to do damage to a protected character. They can be affected by knockbacks, in that you can knock somebody into them. They won't be affected by, you can't target them with environmentals. They won't be affected by AoEs, but and specifically the Nest Mother, and this is part of the key to actually doing well in this mission, is she takes like a reflect damage, so to speak, every time you kill one of the totems, and that's really how you kind of get around it. You kill off the totems, and you're dealing constant damage to her, and she's the target of the mission. If you knock her out, you win the mission. It's over. You don't actually need to get rid of everybody else. Corrupted, the Lilin Hellhounds, when they attack, they have a chance to inflict the corrupted status on you. What that does is you take damage at the end of the turn, and it's like a small explosion. It has an AoE around it. That AoE will spread corrupted to whoever's in it. It doesn't matter if they're an enemy or an ally. So one of the strategies that works really well with corrupted is if you're not cleansing it, you want to try to move yourself into the enemies so that you can spread it to them so you can get free damage off on them. And we talked about fast and slow, where fast reduces the amount of heroism, slow increases the amount of heroism needed to play the heroic cards, and it's by 1. You can get several stacks of it, and that's how many turns it will last for you. Alright, so we've kind of covered a lot of stuff right now. We've been pretty passive on this, and there's really only one more thing I want to cover before we really get into actually getting some combat going, seeing how it's working. Actually, bear with me. There are 3 things I want to cover. First, passives. Second, collars. And third are the combat bonuses. So we're going to start with the hunter here. We're going to look at the passives. Sneeze thought it was coming out there. So the hunter is the only character that gets multiple passives. And these passives come in with the different armors that you can receive. You get them in different ways by completing challenges, doing research, and finishing collections. So you see we have fully charged. It's common, passive. Hunter gains 1 resist or generates 1 heroism at the start of every turn. Defender of the Light. This one, if I remember right, comes from getting the light armor, which was increasing your light balance to, I think it was 150. Now, light attacks and heroics have a greatly increased chance to be critical when drawn. Salem Savior, this comes from completing one of the collections. When the hunter KOs 1 or more Lilin with an ability of 50% chance to draw a card. Heightened Senses, this comes from the one of the armor sets. Charlie gains 1 resist every turn. And then the hunter and Charlie attacks have a greatly increased chance to be critical when drawn. Ancestor's Guidance, this is another one of the armor sets that you can pick up. Hunter abilities do not exhaust. You see, we've got 2 abilities in our hunter deck right now that have exhaust on them. This can be really strong. Shadow Stalker. Once per encounter, redraw a heroic hunter card to gain concealed. This is almost like a get out of free card once per turn, or once per encounter. Symbiote Shell. You get this from the Faithbreaker armor set. And when the hunter plays a card, it's a 10% chance to generate a symbiote bind, which is a card play which binds a target. This can have some nice play into cards like Merciless. Does give you a little bit of extra CC. And then we have Vengeance. You get this from researching another one of the armor sets. Enemies who attack the hunter have a 25% chance to gain 1 marked. Now, you see, I'm using fully charged. It's common. I've got legendaries here. That's how strong this passive is. And it's not hard to get. You can actually get this from, I think you need to do 3 missions with Iron Man. And then get to research level 4 think it's 4. It's either 3 or 4. And you can research the high-tech suit, and that comes with this passive. And I've been using this passive since I got that suit. It's that good. Resist is very strong. The collars are something pretty much limited just to the hunter. They focus on, there's 2 light, 2 neutral, and then 2 dark. And we are working towards trying to get the dark collars because we want to push the dark hunter right now. So we've got the Paragon and the Ivory are your rare and epic light. Paragon, the next light card, hunter light card, is free. You have to play 5 light cards to build up to the point where you can use that. With the Ivory collar, the next attack card played is not discarded. Play 3 light cards to earn in combat. Unity collar, gain 1 fast. Play a light, dark, and power card in any order to earn in combat. The balance collar, draw 2 hunter cards. Nice for cycle, but to do it you need to play 3 power cards. We don't really have that many power cards in this deck. It's not really going to help us out. The Paragon collar does absolutely nothing for us, but neither will the Unity collar because we're not using light cards in this deck. So none of these are really going to do a whole lot for us. I'm not really worried about any of them right now. We're just keeping the Paragon collar on because it's the last one I've been using. Alright, we looked at Blade. Cold-blooded. Now this is up. They get their passive at level 2, Friendship, and then it's upgraded at level 4. So here at upgraded for Blade, it's 25% chance to bleed every time he attacks. Cap gets the block going. Captain Marvel on KO, 20% chance to gain 1 counter. It's limit 1 per turn, so you can only get 1 stack of counter per turn. But the base one is 10%, upgrades to 20%. Doctor Strange has a phenomenal passive here. 50% chance to generate 2 heroism every turn. So if you've got the Hunter with the passive that we're using fully charged and Doctor Strange, you actually have a chance to generate 3 heroism every single turn for doing nothing. Very strong. We've got Ghost Rider, has the Soul Collector passive. Filling the Souls meter increases the maximum health by 15%. Limit 2 per mission. The Souls meter requires 1 less soul to fill, so it goes from, I think it's 4 to 3, or it's either 4 to 3 or 3 to or 5 to 4. Be honest, Ghost Rider is not one of my favorite characters. You can tell that by the severe lack of cards that we have for him. Iron Man has I'll handle this if 2 Iron Man cards are played in a turn plus 1 redraw. So, and you can get that every single turn. This feeds into Iron Man's thing really, really well because he wants to redraw. We look Blast, redraw to add Forceful, redraw to add Knockback. This one just gives you plus 2 redraws. This one just gives you plus 2 redraws. Now the mod on this one is on redraw, cure him. So kind of fits the theme. We got the marked target, redraw to add nearby enemies gain marked, a surgical strike, air superiority we talked about where you add extra damage, so you can actually end up just about doubling the damage on air superiority by redrawing it twice. So the more redraws that you have with Iron Man, the better things get. Magic. Relay, 25% chance to generate a limbo portal card after an enemy is knocked back through a portal. Now, she doesn't need to use a card with knockback to knock somebody through a portal, she can actually do it with the shove mechanic on top of that. So, now, I don't have her set up that much for portals right now, which we might change around a little bit so we can do a little bit more with that. I do have her set up with quicks and moves. She does have the knockback. She actually has a taunt here, which is kind of interesting, but the taunt came with +1 heroism gain, which was a really nice mod to have, so I don't really mind having the taunt on that. And she has the Dark Child. This is actually the only card that has this keyword on it, invulnerable. She takes no damage. So for 4 heroism, you taunt the board, they all attack her and do jack nothing. The only thing they can do is possibly debuff her. Nico. There's a 33% chance to draw a card when a Nico card is played. The base of this, she has to be at full health. This is actually a really good upgrade for her. Helps a lot. She's pretty low level too. Scarlet Witch, wrong place, wrong time. It's 25% chance to debuff each enemy near the Scarlet Witch each turn. So this can really go crazy as there's random debuffs. Spidey, bring the house down. When Spidey uses an environmental attack, 15% chance to refund the heroism cost, and the first environmental attack Spidey uses each encounter costs 0 heroism. So this is free damage, literally. And Wolverine, a healing factor. When a Wolverine card is redrawn, recover 63 health. This is his base level. We're 5 friendship points shy of actually getting him up to level 4 and upgrading his passive, and then we're going to need another 30 on top of that to bring him up to the point where we can do his legendary challenge. He does have a special card that allows him to self-revive, sort of, which can bypass the how many revives you get in a mission. What I'm thinking about here is what's the upgrade for this? Target is KO'd, gain 1 counter. Let's see. Stink of Fear. I find this is actually something I have a tendency to. We're going to take Lethal Pounce out. We're going to put in the modded one. It's much better. I'm thinking about taking out Stink of Fear and putting in the Piercing Slash. But we'll look at that when we actually take him out on a mission, because it might help, it might not help. All right, so we are ready to go. We're going to get ourselves down into the mirror table. And let's see. So we've got Destroy Device, Capture Hydra Agent, Defeat Enemies. Oh, here it is. Defeat Nest Mother. So we've got ourselves Blade. We're going to grab the Hunter because love that Hunter action. And we're going to grab Iron Man because he's super good here. So we have Obsidian Athame, Phoenix Flame Utility Belt. The Obsidian Athame is select a hero, don't discard their next played hero card, discard the rest of your hand instead. Yeah, no, I don't think so. We're going to go with the Nanotech Weave because We are heavy on heroics, and that's going to be really nice to have. The Phoenix Flame is a revive. We don't need that since we do have revives available. We're going to go with Mercury Totem because quick cards are really good in this particular mission. So we want to make sure that if we need one, we can get one. And the utility belt, select a hero, draw 2 of their cards. Again, cycling, trying to get quick cards in hand. Now we don't really have them with the Hunter. We only have them with Blade and with Iron Man. That does put us at a little bit of disadvantage for this particular mission type. But we're going to see what we can do with it. One thing I do want to try to check out is... Alright, so our objective, defeat the Nest Mother. Nest Mothers summon altars each turn, destroy them to damage the Nest Mothers. If the altars are not destroyed, the Nest Mother may turn them into monuments. Monuments have different effects which can help enemies and hinder the heroes.
We need to take that monster out.
Oh. Here she goes. She's going to bring up the altars. There's 5 of them. And we've got Buddy Boy slapping down the Protect.
I am still the prize.
One thing I would like to see is whether or not this...
Don't be swayed by
Oh, is that all?
Well, this is exactly what I wanted here. So we are going to drop Mindbender on this guy. And I'm curious to see if he attacks the Nest Mother. I also want to know if it breaks the Protect. It does break the protection. And he just whacked hell out of her twice. And he doesn't go back into the protection. Okay. Now, you saw when he went into Protect, how he converted health to shield. Now, when he comes out, he converts that shield back to health. So that is something to remember there. Alright, we are going to go quick strike here. Alright, so we do have... We have that one. That one's not a problem. That's not a real big problem. We could probably do a move into a knockback here and get that one. What about this guy? We have the angle here. So what we're going to do here, we have plenty of redraws. We're going to redraw this into a forceful knockback. And that's going to give us enough to really knock this guy down here.
Let's do it.
Alright. One of the things I'm looking at right now is...
Cannot possibly match your
As you see, bam, 95 damage right there. Now this, it is a percentage of health damage. We do have one card play here. So if we can do enough and bring her down to that 258, we can actually do some work here. Alright, so we can actually take this with the box. Alright, now unfortunately, this guy here, doing damage to them and not KOing them, they will split in two. But we're going to go here. We're going to take care of that. It's another altar down. And we're going to grab Blade here. Alright, we can use the Hunter to vault for this. Now, we have different kinds of environmental attacks. We've got the slide, we've got a detonate, we've got a vault, we've got a throw. Now, we don't have any of the drop attacks here, which are suspended items that you can throw down on something else. Let's see. We're going to get good damage out of here. It's almost a shame. I feel kind of like I'm wasting it here.
Your fate is sealed.
But we do need to do the damage to these. Otherwise, they are going to upgrade. Now, in subsequent turns, the Nest Mother can upgrade them. Now, she'll bring them up. Now, we're going to get this one here. It's quick. We get the card. We get the card play refunded here. So we do still have one. And boom. Goodbye.
We've done it. Excellent work.
Boom. Mission over. Now, it does feel a little cheap. This is 100% going to be a 3-star. We finish this in one turn. Of course, now, like I said, we're going to start at Heroic 1. We're going to work our way up. Normal is your baseline. It's where everyone starts. It's one of the things I like the most about how they do difficulty in this game is you're forced to essentially earn your way through. You can't just jump in and say, oh yeah, I'm great. I'm going to do, you know, Nightmare, Ultimate 3, Legend, whatever difficulty you want to call it. You can't go all the way to max. You have to work your way up there, prove you can do it. And each step up changes how things work. So you can see at Heroic 1, from base, we have 25 enemies have 25% more health, 12.5% more offense. We're down to 1 revive per mission. We get 10% more hero XP and 50% more mission gloss. Up to Heroic 2, we're up to 50% more health, 25% more offense, still only 1 revive. We get 20% more XP and 75% more gloss. So let's bump it up and move on to the next one. So when you come back from a mission, you have your standard nighttime things. You might get hangouts, you might not. Those hangouts are really what you want to look at for increasing friendship levels. Yeah, we have nice 10 fortitude out of that increased friendship level. Beautiful. Now, you see how it's gold? This is upgraded. It means we've maxed it out. We're on to the next level. And these actually give us really solid benefits. We do have some hangouts. Looks like Blade, Iron Man, Magic, and Spider-Man. I think I want to go with Magic because a lot of the conversation with Magic you can actually push into well, there's also
Technically, you're not the first zombie I've worked
so
with, but
we're looking at two different things here. We're thinking about what we can do to increase the Dark Hunter level. We're also looking at the benefits we get. So we get Fortitude from Tony. We get Strength from Magic.
Ain't no rest for the midnight suns.
Blade is going to give us Willpower, which is interesting. And we're going to get Fortitude from Spidey. I think I'm going to go with Magic here. I do like increased knockback. Knockback is really, really strong. We're going to go with Exploring the Grounds. Nice. Gets us up to Friendship level 6. Extra Fortitude.
Oh,
Caretaker would not bring back the hunter, so Wanda had to be the new hunter. Replacing you.
Alright, so we got... Skipping that. Let's see. Replacing you was too much to ask of her. She didn't need that
was
pressure.
unfair to Wanda.
You see it too.
So we're pushing the
Agatha
friendship
took it
here.
hard. Then the accident.
Now it seems I am Wanda's replacement.
Not to me,
Oh.
Hunter. You are incapable of replacing her.
Yeah, we're sorry I
did not
misspoke.
mean to offend.
Yet you did.
All right.
Chill out, Hunter. Teasing you.
I love Magic. She's just so much fun. Okay, we have a legendary gift here. Can the X-Men save Colossus's sister? This is actually all about magic. So we're actually going to give her that one. Yeah, she loved the gift.
Utility.
So we're getting 18 friendship out of that. The hunter's strength is increased, more knockback distance. You can see how much it increases. We're up to 28 on strength, and our knockback distance is 14% greater than when we started out. I think this goes to Magic. Yeah. So this benefit is actually the person you're dealing with. She's getting the Fortitude here. So that's going to give Magic a little bit of a benefit. We got ourselves a free chest here. So we got a few pallets and some credits. We'll grab this one while we're here. Gloss and some pallets. And let's take a look, because that was something for the Scarlet Witch here. So we've got a couple interesting color palettes there, but I do like comparatively what we have now compared to any of those. So let's hit the bed and let's get on ready for the next mission. One of the things I do want to try to do is I want to make sure that we're cycling through as many different missions. Ooh, Spidey just got 3 resist to start out the next mission. Very good. Okay, so we've got Coil and we've got Intel.
I'm ready when you
So let's decrypt the Intel.
are. Central will crack the code.
This is going to give us a couple of hero ops that we can do.
Perception, and he left me this pile of spell
So we got a
books.
modded ability and a regular ability. Now, when you upgrade, I think it's the Cree processor, if I remember right,
We're ready.
it allows you to do 2 at a time, but it also gives you a bonus reward. Those bonus rewards, you have to fit the requirements. So here it says Midnight Sun. Here it says technical. So we go Blast from the Radioactive Past. Now technical, I think it's Robbie, Spidey, and Tony. We did just use Tony, so you'll see when you select the hero, it'll if you're gonna get it, it puts a green tick mark next to the bonus rewards ability.
Boss,
We're gonna send him. We'll go to A Night to Remember. This is a Midnight Sun. And this works out well since we just used Blade. He's a Midnight Sun. We're going to send him.
Tony and Mr. Strange
We have the shield
very
exchange here
episodic
where
operations, but we all know this is where the
4
real
credits
happens.
you can buy different things. This changes every day. Or you also have something where you can sell 2 shield 4 credits. So here we can trade an epic blueprint for 60 credits if we happen to need them.
See you soon.
This isn't something I've been in an awful rush to use. Who wants to speak to us? Looks like Captain Marvel actually wants to speak to us. And Superlink. So these can be absolutely hilarious. They're speaking in Latin here, and yes, I did put these things into Google Translate to find out what they were saying. I don't remember exactly what they were. It's basic transient. Useful everyday phrases we should all know. Should we now? I seem to recall those phrases quite vividly from common insults of ancient Rome. Viscere brasis meas, and you my cape. This is the one that I remember. This is eat my shorts. But these are absolutely hilarious. You definitely want to try to keep up with the Superlink because you'll get a lot of laughs out of it. Who is Sloth Baby and why are they sending me fan mail? Not on Superlink, I mean my normal email. I have also received such mail from Sloth Baby. Same. She knew I was in the Runaways. Who on this close knows about the Runaways? Carol, you want to feel this one? She's an up-and-comer based out of Jersey City. Brilliant kid, whole lot of heart. What does she call herself again? I can't remember. Miss Marvel, and I am more flattered than embarrassed. Miss Marvel is Sloth Baby? We send each other fan mail. Hey Blade, how about you? Did she send you fan mail? Yeah, but I blocked the account. Thought it was Wonder Man. Yeah, these are fun. These are absolutely fun. It's something that they took a lot of time to really do some tongue-in-cheek stuff that it's not essential to the game, but it gives it so much more character. All right, so we got some coil here. We got coil.
This should be interesting.
We got a steaming Charlie coil. All right, bring it up. Boom, 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 boom. So, Savage. Last Sight. I mean, this could be interesting here. It is it does have some synergy.
If this thing behind me turns into a giant gateway to ancient Egypt, I'm quitting.
I think what I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to take Fury and Last Sight. Remember, one thing I do want to remember what... Oh, right. Fury upgraded adds marked. So let's grab both of these.
Until next time.
Alright, yeah, we've got upgrades in the yard. That's fine. We want to go talk to Carol and see what she has to say.
Good day, Hunter.
Oh, there she is. What do you
I've
got?
always heard that I have too much energy.
Oh, do you now?
That is a compliment.
Depends on who's saying it. Used to hearing that I'm too powerful. I need to pull my punches.
That seems counterintuitive in battle.
I think it's because I intimidate the inferior.
Yeah, probably.
The most boring conversations are about who is more powerful. What do you think about that?
There we go. This is giving us a nice chance to
I do
push
not need to
the
prove anything to anyone.
the dark side.
But I'm talking about opponents who whine about me being stronger. I mean, if you're gonna complain the fight is unfair, don't step into the ring with me.
Facts.
I don't
Right
pull
there.
punches to spare anyone's
Absolute
ego.
facts.
Not every fight is fair. That is the way of the world.
Exactly. Lilith won't hesitate to press any advantage.
And
And neither should we.
if I can use
That's what I respect about you, Hunter. You're
someone
not
that
afraid of
strong,
your
we're
strength,
gonna use
and
someone
you
that
fight
strong.
to win in every battle.
Caretaker and Agatha shaped me that way.
If they did a good job, we all just might stop this apocalypse.
Yeah, which we're trying to do.
I'm betting they did.
All right, so a little bit more dark balance here. Now, if you look at, we've got a side mission here that uses Blade. Since we've sent him on a hero op, it's actually locked and we can't use him. So we still have the capture, defeat enemies, destroy device, counterattack Hydra forces, and stop Hydra truck is locked. Now, you see some of them have a green star underneath it, some of them have a gray, and some of them have a orange. Those are, hard, easy, normal. It's a relative relation of power levels. So hard, they're going to be a little bit stronger than you are. Normal, it's about even, and we saw how easy is. So I like Cap here. 11 intel for a common blueprint is kind of like, yeah, whatever, but we actually don't have a lot of common blueprints, so to me this is worth it. We get legendary coil out of it. We're going to get a legendary blueprint out of it. We're taking Cap. Obviously, we bring the Hunter here. Now, who else do we bring? So we're basically just attacking Hydra forces. I think I want to bring Wolverine. I really want a chance to get his passive up. No, I don't think we need the nanotech weave here. I do want to bring the vampiric essence. Not a lot of quick cards going here, so I'm not really thinking about bringing more. I mean, this is interesting. I do want to try that out at some point, but we're going to go with Blessed Blade here. What this does is every attack card that's in our hand, we play this. They're critical for the rest of the mission every time we draw them into our hands again. So if you hover over them, you can actually edit them, change their decks. We see with Cap, we've got a lot of the taunts and that. Wolverine, still a fairly basic deck here. I do think we're going to get rid of Stink of Fear here. I'm not really concerned about taunt with him here, because Cap is the one that we really want to do the taunting. I think what I want to do, though, is I think I want to bring Piercing Slash here. That way, if we do run into something with block, we actually get a little extra damage on them. I could go Rapid Healing. Really what I should do is I should actually play the modded... That's something you really kind of want to keep an eye on is, do I have the best card of what I have in the deck? You saw we had a Rapid Healing Plus in here, but we had a modded Rapid Healing Plus, which actually gets us 2 more cards. Cycle the deck, and I'll say this a lot: cycle the deck, cycle the deck, cycle the deck, cycle the deck. Very, very important. I am going to back us out of the mission because I do want to upgrade Lethal Pounce here. Everybody's set up. We know what we want to do, but we do want to make sure that we have, if we can upgrade the cards, we do upgrade the cards. So let's go with the upgrade. We're going Wolverine. This is, see, we've got the two of them. They both say own 3, but this one says equip. That's how we know this is the one that's in our hand. So we're going to upgrade that. And basically it's an upgrade to the damage, which is always nice to have. Now we've got sparring we can do. Again, we're increasing the size of area abilities here. I know Nico has some. And I don't believe that this increases the area of the chain effects. Now, we're going to go with Nico here. A little extra friendship. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of the other thing. You see our training level is maxed out. We can't upgrade it anymore. And where is that mission? It was American Southwest, yes? All right. So we've got everything set up, ready to go. We're taking the Hunter. We're taking Wolverine. We've got the Vampiric Essence, the Blessed Blade, and the Utility Belt. Vampiric Essence will help us heal up Cap when he's taunting. Since we're not running a real heal-oriented Hunter deck. Okay. Counterattack. Defeat as many enemies as possible. The alarm can be triggered once per turn to bring more enemies into the battle. Collect the Never Let Up card from key enemies to preserve your momentum and draw more cards. Defeat at least 12 enemy units. Defeat even more for extra rewards.
Hydra forces in this area are causing trouble. Let's take them down.
All right, let's go.
Alright, so that's the alarm. And we do have one of the drop environmentals here. That's this one right here. So it's centered around here. It's 2 heroism and it's a full kill right off the bat. And you see 920 damage. So we will take down the Revenant and we'll take down the Elite here. Now the thing about the Revenants is they have the special ability Soulbound. You see, if any Soulbound unit has health at the end of the turn, automatically revive and equally distribute health between all Soulbound units. And they can bind in, they always start with 2 of them, and they're always soulbound. If you cannot, you have to knock both of them out in a single turn in order to get them down. Oh, we got lucky. We got 3 crits. That is nice. 300 attack, and you can debate these guys. You see it says Blood Hunger always targets the last unit to gain bleed. So if we drop bleed on somebody, for them it is all over. So we can actually get rid of this guy on that turn. So, chain swipes. Now, what I'm looking at here is these 3. But we can do a quick swipe, get the KO, get the card play refunded, and get one strengthened, which is going to increase the damage that we're going to be able to output here. You can see it's up to 189 and 62. We need 381 on this guy. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And we've set up this guy to have some real fun here. So we're going to go boom, KO, concealed, good to go. So now we've got to never let up. Discard your hand, draw 3 cards, refund 2 card plays, and this is free. What I'm thinking about here is we actually want Captain America. And you can see we got a forceful knockback here. We knock it into the slide here, and okay, yeah, we're about 2.5, 2 3/2 bars. We knock it into Hunter. We're over 3.5. What I don't know, what I do think that this will break the conceal. But I don't think it's going to be a problem because I'm looking to really get some major KOs on this. Yeah, they're weak. The Hunter's no longer concealed. We are out of card plays here, but that's fine. We do have a Never Let Up. So, boom. More card plays. Okay, so we have a best defense. Rapid healing, which isn't really going to help us that much. So I want to play the best defense here. So we got a shield bounce and a quick punch. We need 344 damage here. We want to make sure we get this drop out. We do have another Never Let Up. We can get a good amount of damage out this way just with our shove. It's another 126 damage on there.
Nice work.
Now the shield bounce doesn't really do it for us here. The quick punch, not much of a help. Now, if we do that... Okay, we can do it into Cap or Wolverine and get the... actually get a kill out of it. And the Revenant's going to go down here. And that's going to wreck the other one as well. They're both going to be completely KO'd. Alright. Bring it on. Let's get another one going. So we've got a Dark Heal. This is definitely pretty much an instant redraw for us. We can ring the alarm right now. So let's do that. Let's get some more enemies in here, see what we can't do with that.
These cretins can't hope to stop you.
So it looks like we've got some more minions here. We can take out that one. Unfortunately, what we don't have here is a way to relocate, which kind of sucks because I would love to be able to use this here. If we reposition here, we're going to have a vault onto the Elite Shadow Hound. Cap still has the Environmentalist. So let's use him here. We're getting more damage out. Anytime we're getting more damage, things are better. Now, we've got 2 taunts here.
Looks like you could use a hand.
We're going to go for it. So we've taunted these. This gives us a taunt on all the Shadow Hounds. Let's get in there. Boom, you're on the ground. I'm going to redraw Deadly Ground here. Get the resist. We'll take the dig in here. Unfortunately, it's not going to get us where we want to be. My preference is really to be, like, over here, but it's not really going to happen. Now, what's our block right now? So we look here, we see we have 551 block out of a possible of 683. So your maximum block is dictated by your maximum health.
Don't worry, I'm here to help.
So we're going to get another counter. We're going to taunt the last guy. And we got a nice Brooklyn handshake here, which I love to see. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a crit. But we're going to KO all the minions here. So we're taking 96 damage. We're doing 108 and we're regenerating all of that. So we're only down 89 for each one of these hounds. So we still have a ton of block on Cap right now. This guy's going to split. Kind of a whatever.
They have not changed their plans. A focused effort.
Alright, so we got 2 more turns. Yeah.
Tear them to shreds.
Cap's getting a little bit more here. Mindbreaker. Got a lot of minions here. I mean, that's definitely a double. I kind of like this one. I'm happy to put a week on this Shadow Hound. Because I can still use a move on these guys.
Who says an old dog can't learn new tricks?
We're going to create some more enemies here. As he's going to attack him twice. He's going to split. Now, yes, this guy's healed up. But these guys just divided their health pools. Now, the question is anybody targeting Cap? We're going to put Berserk on this guy. So, he's basically, all he's doing is going after them. So, now the downside here is, can we get a good enough angle on the Hellhounds, or the Shadowhound? Oh. Now, because we have a move to cure, if we try to move in too small of a spot, we're actually not going to be... We're not going to move. We're actually just going to cure. I'm okay with this. It should bring the Shadowhound close enough that his Berserk should target both of them. And I'm very much okay with that. And Cap is just going to go boom, boom. Knock out those two guys. Pick up his extra block. Once again, block is maxed out on him. Redraws are actually, we're in a pretty good spot right now. So we've got 13 enemies down in 2 turns. 17 enemies for bonus rewards, so we need 4 more. Which is fine. Now, I don't know who his third attack is going. He is going for Cap here. Okay. Which is fine. Take a punch in the face. And he's going to split. So, in spite of filling up his health bar completely, he just split it in half. Really? That many attacks? Well, listen. Wow. I feel like he had more attacks than he should have there.
More of them are joining the fight.
And these guys are just splitting everything everywhere at this point. But that's basically what they do.
Hydra hasn't gotten much better over the years.
Alright, so
Time is almost up. Do as much as you can.
that's a 148. 245 here, 148 over here. I actually want to take this guy out with this. We're going to get 2 more cards this way. So we can, let's see, we'll take this guy here and we'll go strengthened.
Wow. I'm glad you're on our side.
So we're up to 17, 4 more. So if we can run the board here. Yeah, if we can run the board here, we're actually going to be in really good shape. Nice, nice. So we got all of our taunts done for our secondary objective here. Let's see, we've got a chain 2 here. 141. That's going to give us 2 more. We got these 2 guys with knockbacks.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
So we use our move here for a double.
You picked the wrong one, bub.
We only have the 1 card play left, but that's all of our enemies. We can't generate any more card plays. I mean, we could bring in more enemies, but we're out of anything we can do. But that's basically how this goes. I think we're going to do this. We're going to see how they come in. If we can actually
Bring them on.
pick something up with environmentals, I mean, that was the last one we needed for a bonus. We're up to 25. We're up to 25. We're out of heroism. And that's the end of the turn. We take damage now, but
That'll heal right up.
we're fine. I mean, that guy's not going to do it. That's all this guy does. And I got a kitty. 3-star. Really good. Absolutely legendary mission there. We got 25 skill essence, 26 credits, 25 attack. We got the common blueprint, the legendary blueprint, and the coil. Alright, so we're going to pop it up to Heroic 3, hit the next level. We're up to 75% increased health, 50% offense, 25% more XP, and 100% more gloss. So the gloss, for the most part, it's just cosmetics. I would say 95% cosmetics, if not higher. But you can buy gifts from the gift shop. And those gifts can be used to increase friendship. Does anybody want to hang out? So we got the gift shop here. We can look at it. Let's see. We've got music box. And we'll just buy everything out. Runaways #1. And Iron Man fanfic anthology. Yeah, if we want to hang out with Iron Man, that's his shtick right there. All right, so let's sleep, and we're gonna hit up another mission on the next day, and we're just gonna keep pushing through. You can see the difficulty in the heroics, the difficulty is really very similar. What's Logan got to say?
Talked about my claws, but do you know how they work?
They're
I've
claws.
seen them come out of your hands. They are shiny.
The shiny is called adamantium.
I have never heard of it before.
It's essentially a substance used to make people into weapons.
All power comes with a cost.
Like most things.
Well, he didn't like
Born
that.
with the claws, but they were just bone. Fast forward a few years, and I meet a doctor who sees something in me.
He was not a good doctor.
He's the one who coated my skeleton in adamantium. Hurt like hell. I wouldn't wish that pain on anyone. Safe to say this doctor isn't around anymore. Don't get me wrong. The claws are a part of me. Never hated him.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we took a little negative there as far as the friendship with Wolverine goes.
Just like you wanted.
All right, so
If we had some
no,
rookies,
we're gonna
I'd
get both
say
of
try them out
these,
for the experience, but I think
which
we'll
is
pass
fine.
that.
I like the life steal on this. This is actually pretty nice. But we're definitely going to keep that in mind. That might go into the deck. And a little more of that. You know, neither one of them are, you know,
Thanks, Hunter.
horrific. You do get to a point where you've picked up the majority of the cards. And unless you're getting something that's modded in such a way that you're really...
Hey, Hunter.
it's really beneficial to you, then a lot of times picking what you need as far as essences is probably your best. I think I want to take a look at that. I do like the redraws. This is good for pairing with an Iron Man deck. So if you're bringing Iron Man and Wolverine, this could be good to have. And I'm just going to grab the Brooklyn Handshake just in case I need something to discard for attack essence.
Hey, Hunter.
At this point, we're not really going for it. So we've got nothing in New York City, foreign transient, 2 in the American Southwest. We've got recovered data. That's an easy. Summoning circle. Defeat enemies. I think we're going to go with the summoning circle. This actually has a couple of things to look at. Let's see. Knock back 3 enemies through portals. For a rare blueprint, I've got a lot of them already. I'm not going to worry about that. We are taking magic here. An absolute favorite of mine. We're going to go with magic, and I think we're going to go with our good and dear friend Captain Marvel here. Now, we're going to look at Magic's deck. Now, we've got the Dark Child, the Banished, the Gather, Limbo's Grasp. Now, this does create a portal, and it gives us a draw card. But what we're lacking is actually anything that any other portals. I think what I want to do here is, let's see, what's it? 50% chance to apply marked. Now, I'm going to drop off both of these quick soul slashes. I'm going to grab the one that has a chance for stun here. And then I'm going to add in another... I think I'm going to add in the other Limbo's Grasp here. Because we do have a lot of heroic here. We also have an absolute butt ton of it in Captain Marvel's deck. So instead, I know the Limbo Portal is free, but getting I think the 2 heroism is more important than the free card played here. Now, we do have a chance to generate a Limbo Portal card with Relay 2. It is only a 1 in 4 chance. Now, Captain Marvel, you see we've got the Rain of Blows, Fist of Radiance, and the Photon Beam. Take a look at her deck. The Supernova is her special legendary for the Midnight Suns. We don't really have a whole lot of choices here. She doesn't have... We don't have any quick cards for her in this deck. So one thing we might want to think about is... instead of Blessed Blade here, what I'm going to do is... Targeting module... Select a hero, apply 2 mark to a random enemy targeting them. Give us a chance to maybe be able to work out some free card plays that way. We don't have a lot of quick here. And that's really my concern with this particular setup, is that when it comes to quick plays, we're lacking. So that's a weakness for this particular deck. I know, you know what, I should have taken the item that guarantees the knockdown into a drop, because the summoning circle actually counts as a drop. See, attack defending enemies to break protection from the mystics. Damaging mystic disrupts their connection to the summoning ritual. Summoning portal will collapse when all mystics have been interrupted.
If Hydra's mystics succeed in opening
That's basically how you get to the end of this mission, is you remove the summoning circle and then kill all the enemies. Alright, so we've got a Dark Heal, which that's a redraw on the first turn. Rain of Blows, also not great here. Alright, so we've got a quick Soul Slash here. I think we can use it like this. Maintain the card play, as we do have Merciless here, which is going to give us an absolute ridiculous amount of damage here. I think we're going to redraw Rain of Blows. Alright, I like this. I like this quite a bit. So we're going to go with this here. This is going to... We're going to be able to delete a Mystic now. Not 2 of them, but just 1 of them. You see her, we just get the move. We get the knockback through the portal. And we're going to get the stun here.
one mystic out.
And we get another limbo portal, which is fantastic. Merciless here becomes a KO on that Mystic. The Mystics have some nasty attacks, as well as having a lot of health. You see they're up to 932. We're 719 here. I do want to set up another limbo portal against this generator. I might not be using it. But we're going to go with the hero combo here. The slide, actually the slide is 2. So I don't know if the hero combo is the right call here. So there's no valid vault. And we've already used our shove, so even though we have multiple moves, you can only use one move for a shove. Now we can use this here, but it doesn't help us out completely. It doesn't do the full amount of damage that we need to remove this guy from the board. We do have a good amount of block. We can use the slide to break the railings here, and that does create a drop. You see when you see that percent by a knockback, that's what it is. You're knocking them into a drop. That's going to end us up in an interesting spot. Now, I could take the counter here. And the thing about the Shadowhounds is when you taunt one, you're taunting all of them. So if I do taunt them... Now, Magic's taking a big hit from the Guardian here. And he's going to look to apply a wound with this attack. I would like this more if we had binary. We can, she's going to take a good beating off of this. We have a lot of heroism now, which is kind of what I was looking for here. Let's see, Captain Marvel. If we get here... Alright, Bless. Doubles damage dealt to Lilin. Nice. And it's free. We can get both of them here. You know, let's go with Blessing. What I'm not sure of is, does this affect... Yes, this does affect environmentals as well. So this is actually a really good environmental now.
Take this.
We're going to bring that down. We're going to kill the Shadow Hound. Do a nice chunk of damage on this guy. We can definitely get a KO here. So we can actually double dip this here.
Here we go.
We'll take this guy out with the slide. We get this guy with the box.
One more time.
And we've actually really cut down a huge amount. Oh, we're down to... Oh. We probably could have left that guy and gone with the topple here. That probably would have been a better play. But it's all good.
Mystics are digging deeper, reaching for something to call for.
Alright. Big hit. Doesn't apply the
All right.
the debuff. And she put out some good damage with those counters. Very happy with that. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we've got Trapdoor, Last Sight. Oh, this is beautiful.
Many forms.
And we've got the Limbo's Grasp here. Now we can pop you. So we only have one attack coming in on the Hunter here, which I'm not terribly concerned about. We've got a good amount of block. So let's break that. We hit him for an absolute ton of damage there. We do have one portal on the ground right now. We do have a 25% chance of an instant kill here. But I'd rather take the 100% chance for a double kill here. And should have been paying more attention because I actually thought I was using magic there. This is actually very solid here.
Let's do it.
87%, very reasonable kill chance here.
Throw in the towel already.
208. We can go with the instant kill here. It doesn't really matter where we drop him. Absolutely fantastic ability. I love that.
You will leave this world alone and forgotten.
So they're completely focused on the portal right now.
They are set on coming after me.
Oh, let's see. We've got deadly ground here. So we'll pop you off.
It's only temporary.
That one's stunned.
We've knocked another mystic out of the ritual. Almost there.
We can play another portal here. We'll line it up right on the drop here.
Now and then.
That is a very nasty hero combo.
We will move as one.
Let's go for the damage. Also for disrupting the ritual here. And that's going to delete that drop. We got a taunt in here. Gonna redraw Deadly Ground. I'll take the resist. This is a good play here. Because what it's not going to do is it's not actually going to trigger this. I was kind of hoping we could get all of them, but we're just not quite getting the setup here. That was not what I was looking for. Alright, we're going to take these two. I know we're waking up the stunned one, but we did have a misplay on that move.
Hold back and regroup.
So the time has come.
Alright, so we actually did very well here. Mindbender works really good here. We're going to get 2 double attacks. Or we're going to get 2 attacks. And they hit hard. The 376 damage. If that's not a KO, it's going to be really close. And we get the interrogate too. Nice. So we'll take the interrogation. These are great. I love the knuckle crack. So we get 27 credits, and we're just going to end this on a nice gather.
You're just lucky we aren't allowed to take your life.
And a knockback.
It was your time.
Bye-bye.
We've done it.
Oh, that worked out very well. We did have the one misplay. We still copped 3 stars out of it, which is perfectly fine. No, I'm not stressing the covers for the comics. It's a really great idea, but not something I usually worry about. All right, Captain Marvel. Ooh, nice. Increased resilience. Always good. Glad to see that. Do we have any hangouts? Anybody? Bueller? No?
Seriously, this is about as celebratory as I get, unless there's Copa.
Okay.
Good girl, Charlie.
All right. Yeah, we gotta love that Charlie girl. I think we've pretty much covered most of what combat is. Now, we do have a few more different kinds of missions. I do want to try to get our hands into a couple more. We got another intel cache. We've got more coil.
What's new, Hunter?
Time to spill your guts, Hydra.
So let's take it.
I'm not gonna sleep well after
All right, epic ability and an epic modded ability.
Who are we sending on an op?
All right, so it looks like we're sending Scarlet Witch,
That doesn't sound so bad.
and then we need a technical.
If we had some rookies, I'd say send them out for the experience. Past that.
We can't send Cap, and we can't send. We need Tony, Ghost Rider, or Spidey. Oh, let's take a look at Spidey's level here. He is just 24. And we do need to increase the difficulty. So we're popping up to Ultimate 1. So we're 87.5% health increase, 67% offense increase, and now we have additional enemy reinforcements. Alright, so I think we want to go with Spider-Man. Who wants to talk to us? Doc Strange. So let's get our coil.
Hey, Hunter. Nice, you brought me the good stuff.
So we're gonna go Hunter, Spidey.
Sometimes I even impress myself. I feel like I could automate this process and take myself out of the loop here.
I like this here. That looks pretty good.
Farewell.
Well, let's go see Doc Strange. See what he's got to say. Pretty sure he was out here. And apparently, I just went wrong with confidence.
Can I help you?
No, you can't, unless you can tell me where Doctor Strange is. That's Stark. Take a look at the map again. Oh, now he's in the forge. Now, you know, making me run around like a lunatic. What do you got?
A bit out of sorts. I don't have anything to do at the moment. Am I actually having a bit of downtime?
Seems like it.
I don't know what to do with myself.
You need something to keep your hands occupied. Some kind of hobby.
Well, I am a pretty good cook when I have the time. Putting ingredients in a pot isn't much different than casting a spell.
Just do not confuse the two.
Truer than you might think. Someday I will have to tell you the horrific tale of my last souffle. I barely escaped with my life.
I do not think you will have to wait long for some other crisis to
You know, I feel like that's
I think you are right. I should cherish this
a
time
nod
while
to
I
Phineas and Ferb and the Jello of Doom.
be.
All right, he's gonna just be, and we are going to just flee. So one thing I'm actually gonna do here, and I need to check out Spidey's deck. Chain Strike, Special Ability, Spider Sense, Web Slinger, Whip up here, Web Throw. I think this can work. We're gonna check out the threat room, and we're gonna bring Spider-Man. Now we do have the combat items, and using them in here, they aren't it's not like a permanent use. They're not discarded. You do get them back as soon as you're done, but I think we're gonna be good here. So, battle the Solus with a single hero for 3 turns. Combat items may be used, but will not be permanently consumed.
Looks like it's getting hot in here. They all want a piece of the
So, with
Spider-Man.
these guys, KOs refund a card play. The big boys, same thing. KO refunds a card play, but on KO, draw 2 cards. So obviously we go Web Slinger first.
Should come in handy.
So 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Here comes the heat.
We want to make sure that we're getting our maximum usage out of this.
That armor must be stronger than it looks. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Let's get a little Spidey sense going on here. So we got the fast, we get resist. So now we are working like this, and we're gonna get a nice, nice little boom boom here. So that's a kill.
Nothing personal, but I think you're out of your league here.
All right, I like the web throw here. Now, if we look at this internal circle, this is where we're going to be doing extra damage. And can we hit... We can hit this one. And that just did a whole lot.
You guys are really gonna get hurt if you're not careful.
Special delivery here, 2 for 1. We're also going to get ourselves an extra card play going on here.
Probably best if you stay down.
Yeah, we can not get the extra card play here. It has a little bit more effect.
Promise we won't chase you.
Chain Strike very solid here.
Might sting a little. My Greek mythology is a little rusty, but didn't the Hydra originally have 9 heads?
Let's see. Do we want a web throw up here? Let's go for another strengthened.
Nice. Let's do this.
I don't know that Chain Strike actually has enough. No, we don't have enough range here. So we're just going to pump them all into this guy. Knock him down, call it a day.
For like decades.
And we're going to drop the weak on him. But we are going to take the return damage here.
You must be pretty brave. I know I wouldn't want to fight us.
I think we can, yeah, we can actually move here. And he's now toast. Oh, I missed one. Forgot about that guy. That's all right. We did have the resist, so we're not taking full damage there.
Just say the word.
This is very solid.
This one's for you. At least you get to travel to new, exciting destinations before you get beat up.
We could do a web throw here. I think we're going to do that. We're going to go with the web throw here. I think I'm going to go like this. We get the KO, so we do have card plays refunded.
Boy, I hope Hydra follows proper concussion protocols.
We hit everybody here with that. And then we should be able to chain strike everybody down.
I don't know, you should have asked Lilith for cooler outfits?
166, 180, 181. So we're not going to go with the crit one.
You're in trouble now.
We'll go with the regular one. And we get a full. And there's the level up we needed. Nice. Alright, so we got big damage on up here.
I bet Lilith isn't going to like this.
So let's go with strengthened.
Take that!
Get a nice double.
Maybe put some ice on that. You'll feel better. I'm on it.
Another double.
Hydra didn't train you for this, huh? This one's for you.
As long as we're getting KOs, we're actually doing really well.
Line of work.
Now the question here is, how concerned about the KO are we? We've got plenty of card plays. We can play Web Slinger.
This would be a lot easier if you guys just give up now. Oh, this should be good.
Oh. Again, not using card plays there.
Won't chase you.
And that does it. Boom. That's the board.
You guys are really gonna get hurt if you're not careful.
And we cleared 3 rounds. So that finishes it. So we got nice level up there on Spider-Man. So we are going to be able to send him on his on that hero op. So we send Spider-Man on the hero op because he is technical.
Ready for some hero work?
Yes, yes we are. So he's going to get couple good skills out of that. So we have recover Hydra data, defeat enemies, defeat Nest. We got another Nest Mother. I think we're going to go for the Nest Mother here because we haven't used Strange. Now, what do we think? Do we want to use Ghost Rider or do we want to use Nico? I think we're going to use Nico here. Nico has some interesting abilities. Her thing is kind of like a randomness. And it is, it's interesting.
This is as close as you'll get to a straight fight. Take that thing down.
You can have random targeting, random effects. It's similar to the crits. You know you're going to have them when they come into play. It's not like you'll be like, oh, I'm going to target this debuff on somebody. What's it going to do? They come into your hand and you know. So wins here. We get the KO, runs quick. We take out one of the thingamabobbers. I think this is actually going to end up attacking the, yeah. And a bleed, nice. I like that, because bleed is going to trigger blood hunger on the 2 revenants. So they're going to attack the Guardian. So the Nest Mother has 1,500 health right now. Now we can use that here. Let's see. We can blow this up, but this is definitely one to blow up. That's a good push. How you looking there, cowgirl? 1,000. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So if I go whip here,
Your time has come.
we're gonna get 2 cards. So we're gonna discard 1.
As a child,
I'm not exactly heartbroken about losing anything that's in my hand right now.
to fear me.
Was the last sight crack the sky? I'm actually very glad to see that. Unfortunately here, I don't have...
Let me show you the way.
No, I don't have a good follow-up there. $230 damage here. I think the best bet I have right now is to actually put a bleed on the Nest Mother.
Ah, feeling strong all of a sudden.
And everybody just taunted Nico on Nico. Alright, I'm going to use Utility Belt here. I'm hoping for the Vapors of Altor,
I thank you.
which doesn't matter because I don't have a card play anyway. Nico is going to go down here. Mostly because I did dumb stuff.
All who stand before us will fall.
If you attack the Nest Mother, you taunt everything. And you're going to see Nico's going down very easily here. Just completely not a surprise. After the first turn, the Nest Mother will upgrade one of these altars into a monument pretty much every time. And the difference between an altar and a monument, aside from what they do with
Plan B.
the
It appears that I have central focus.
the buffs, debuffs. This one, all enemies have a chance to gain concealed when damaged. Alright, we're going to go Blessing of Ashanti here. We'll take the 3 heroism. Get a nice amount of damage in here. We could actually get rid of this guy. I'm going to take the revive here on Nico.
Let's hope we don't have to do that again.
Now, one thing I can do is I can try to build up, instead of worrying about going with the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, getting the Bind and the Vulnerable, I can go with trying to build up for Crack the Sky here. I'm going to redraw the hero combo. Also going to redraw the Dark Heal here. Not sure that's exactly what I wanted there. We can get this one. $409. That's 283. So that can definitely be killed. These guys are going to go after looks like the Guardian here. So we've got that. We can get this one down. Unfortunately, I don't really have the card plays to get this done. Question is it the monument? And 1, 2, 3. They're basically all attacking Strange. Let's get in there. We're going to take out this guy here. I'm going to live with the... Alright. Alright, that one goes down. And there goes the Nest Mother, and we're out of here. What we needed. We got to see a little bit of Nico. Not a whole lot. We do only take 2 stars there because of the KO. But that's Nico's thing, is she's got that, you know, randomness to her. But the nice thing about it is consistent to what you see. You know, it's not like you're going to possibly play something and not know what it's going to do. You do know what it's going to do. It's just randomly chosen going into your hand. I think we're going to close it up here. We got into a lot of the different things with how the combat works, some different looks to it. We did get into the ultimate levels. I believe our next mission would be kind of back where we were, which is the ultimate 2. Yeah, we'd be going back to the ultimate 2. That's where we're going to go to next. But, you know, you have any questions, feel free. Slap something down there, you know, throw a comment on. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're looking for. Is there anything we didn't cover? Maybe we might want to go into another time. But I will see you in the next one when we pick back up on the Let's Play. Have a great time, everybody.